Hey everybody, this is John at Simpler Trading, and we are looking at the closing trade on the S&Ps and the NASDAQ, looking at the S&P futures as well as SPX. It is about 2:15 p.m. Central Time on Tuesday, December 9th, and what we're looking to see is if we can determine if there is going to be a trade where we either get a little bit of a puke into the close or kind of a spike up into the close. And we've got the S&Ps on the left and then the NASDAQ on the right. As we go into the last end of the day here, we can see that the S&Ps are under a little bit more pressure, not much. It's been a super quiet day. We're down like 1 point over here. We're still up 40 points over here. And you can see it's just been, after a little initial strength the morning, just kind of an afternoon, kind of a grind. And where we're near the lows of the day, where the NASDAQ is well off the lows of the day. So when I see something like this, the idea is like, okay, well, can the NASDAQ get a little bit of a spike up here? And is there something interesting to do? So that's the futures. Let's look at the NDX as well. And I will just drag this over. And so this is the 30-minute chart. We've got the 5-period daily EMA overlaid onto it with the 1 ATRs of the 5 EMA. And kind of the same thing. It's where the NASDAQ here has been mostly drifting up today, a little bit of quiet here recently. S&Ps have kind of been drifting lower most of the day back to the 5 EMA. And then as we go into the close, this is really more of a function of how traders are thinking about getting positioned for tomorrow. And, are they, do we just close here at 68.50? I mean, that'd be kind of boring and it's only 4 points from here. Or do we get like a 20-point puke into the close or some kind of 15-point short covering rally? And so those are the things that I'm kind of looking here for, just to kind of get a sense. And so what are some things that we can look at? So on the NDX options, these are notoriously kind of low volume, but they've been picking up. Like now compared to the SPX, it's kind of a joke. But you can see that, we've traded 1,000 or 2,000 contracts. A couple years ago on the NDX, it'd be like maybe 100, maybe 200 contracts, if that, with much wider spreads. And so the open interest here, is not going to be very much, but you can see there's a lot of volume, 2,000 contracts at the 25,700 level. And so one question I'm looking at here is like, okay, could we at least get back to 25,700 by the close? And then if so, is there a cheap way to do that? Now, of course, if we come over here and we look at the SPX, it's a completely different story because you actually have real volume here. You have hundreds of thousands of contracts traded. And open interest is low simply because, people ask like, wow, why is the open interest so low? Because it's 0 DTE. Everybody's just trading them today. So any trades you do today, the volume comes up over here, but typically the open interest wouldn't be till the next day when everything settles. And like, all right, how much open interest is there? So that's why the open interest doesn't change very much when you see all this volume. And then tomorrow, of course, people will be trading tomorrow's, the 10 December one instead of today's. And so kind of the same thing here is, what are some things to kind of look at? And you can see at 68.50, there is a lot of volume at 68.50, 55, 68.60, right around there. And what you'll also see in a situation like that, if you follow things like gamma and all that kind of stuff, right now you've got some positive gamma at 68.45. That'll often act as a magnet. And you can see up here, we're at 68.46, but you can also see it as drying up. And so if this dries up, then a lot of times the market will just kind of rip through any negative gamma, which means essentially dealers that are short the calls in this case, and you can kind of get a little bit of a spike into the close. So that's what we're kind of looking at here. It's been a super quiet day, so not necessarily expecting fireworks here, but it's currently 2:22. So I like to wait till about 15 minutes before the close, and then let's set up a trade and see what's cooking. All right, it's about 2:45, and man, the markets have barely moved over the last 30 minutes, but you can see we're kind of sitting here. And so the idea here is, can we get like a little bit of a short covering rally kind of up through 68.50? And it's one of those things where it's like, okay, you don't obviously know exactly what's going to happen, but you're just looking for kind of plays here that are cheap. So the 68.50s right now are 80 cents. So I don't mind picking some of these up, 80 cents, risk the premium, it goes to 0. Or maybe we spike up to 68.55 and it goes to $5, right? So it looks pretty bad at this point, but in the last 5-10 minutes, you can get some crazy moves. And I would say, we either end up at 68.50. We could pin right at 68.50, of course. But you may get some wayward move you know, you could end up at 68.60 or 68.30 as well. Sometimes in the last 10 minutes, you get these crazy moves. All right. So I'm going to buy those calls and let's see what happens. All right. Well, today was a nothing day. So you can see a couple days ago, we did a similar trade and you got about a solid, like 15 points into the close. It was pretty awesome. It was like, bam. Okay. And you get buy options at like 40 cents and they go to $5.80. Just let it cash settle. And then yesterday was pretty similar. Where was, yeah, you kind of had this, the kind of the spike there into the close. And then, oh, this was yesterday. So yesterday you did it and it's literally like the last 4 minutes. We went from 35 to 46. So same thing, options going from like 80 cents to $5. And today we just didn't get it. So we started getting a little bit of a push and then we kind of fizzled in the close. There are times when you'll drop like 20 points, which is great. There wasn't an indication of a big drop today. It was more possible short covering and then we just didn't get anything. So today was a dud. So bought it for 80 cents, went to zero. So of course, super not interesting on the day that I'm actually recording it, but it is actually pretty interesting and fun. Otherwise, Fridays was actually a lot of fun. All right. So, let's take a look at this. So at this point, again, kind of a hurry up and wait for, this was our kind of a gap down level. The NASDAQ puked it up a little bit in November, and we're just kind of back at this level, consolidating. And we have the potential for two catalysts tomorrow. One is FOMC day, and two is Oracle earnings. So is that enough to get us going up to the upside here, or are we going to kind of come back down and test some support levels? And it's not super clear. I mean, a lot of this stuff is expected already, right? People expect that there's going to be a rate cut. People hope that Oracle earnings are going to be good. So if we get the rate cut, Oracle earnings are good, all right, what else you got? So anyway, that's that. One of the things we do have coming up for members, so if you are a member or even if you're a trial member, on December 18th, we are going to do a class on the benefits of taking advantage of what's called tax loss selling. And then on the 31st, the last trading day of the year, we are going to do a live class with actual tax loss selling trades. If you've never done this, it's kind of like the one time a year where you have the best edge you're ever going to get in trading. And just want to, we'll share this with you. So again, if you're a member or a trial member to like Mastering the Trade Room or something like that, you'll just get to attend this class for free, do the trades for free. And it's great if you've never seen it before. All right, you guys have a good one, and we'll see you at the next update.
Hey, John here with Simpler Trading. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, comment down below and let us know what topic you want to see us cover next. Also, be sure to subscribe and click the bell icon so you can get notified when we release new videos. And if you want to watch us trade in real time using our own money, go to simplertrading.com and learn how to sign up. Good trading, and we'll see you next time.